我一直以来都不喜欢被暴露在一个除了我自己能感受到和触碰到的实体的空间，无论是社交网络，自拍、合影还是什么的，渐渐的我也不会将我的情绪表露在任何地方。My name is AHY from Ameishan, a small city surrounded by nature. Being able to get in touch with nature from an early age is one of the most beautiful things in my life. For as long as I can remember, I have been a very sad and depressed person, and creating since I was a 5-year-old child discovered painting, started writing at 9, and the first time dealt with film at 11. The most important partner who has been growing and changing with me over these years. For some reasons, I took a year off when I was 15. During this year, I independently produced a feature film and made a music album. At the same time of this year, I decided to drop out of school with the determination to rebel and live as long as I can create. 2018 is a monumental year for me, and it is also the biggest year of change in my life. After 2.5 years of feeling and reflecting, I tried to do different things this year. For example, before 2018, I would only wear white clothes. I was extremely paranoid about white. Almost everything about me is white. From my room to the workbench, from my photographs to handcrafts. But in 2018, I decided to start wearing and using more colors. Before 2018, I would hardly take the initiative to socialize. In 2018, I slowly began to talk to people and then feel their happiness and pain more directly. More example, I filmed myself and put myself in the film for the first time and uploaded to the internet to share with the world. This time, in the films of these trips, in addition to showing these cities, each of them also expressed some of my emotions and feelings. Sometimes we feel lonely. When this feeling comes, we can become more lonely. It's like a monster, like a heavy dark sky. My parents don't like to travel or travel long distances, so I rarely get a chance to go out and see the world before I'm 18. The day after I turned 18, I began to prepare for my first trip, and this was also my first solo trip, which gave me an unprecedented taste and the first time I felt the power of happiness in the grandparents' home of a friend in a foreign country. For 2 years, I slowly lost interest in everything, but also gradually lost emotions. I became no longer angry, eager, happy, or excited. The only thing is sad, and then there is no sadness anymore, as if blending with me. So I think I need to stop and feel. I stopped thinking about the future. I stopped what I was doing. I began to reflect. Also, work hard trying to save money. Then I can travel again. For the past 3 years, I have arranged 2 to 3 months of uninterrupted travel every year. In 2018, in the third time before I went on a journey alone, unlike the calm and the feeling of accepting the world, this time I was extremely unhappy and anxious. So if it didn't make me get rid of my sadness, what should I do? people are deeply influenced by romanticism and consumerism, so when our lives become anxious and or upset, we always hear people say, go travel, because we think it's a new experience, a new adventure that'll gain more experience, maybe help us grow, or change a bit. But is it? Now that we are living in such a vast and complex world of imagination, a journey may indeed find my connection to the world. Every trip has given me a taste of greatness, splendor, diversity, and the beauty of our planet. I learned about all kinds of culture and art, and slowly felt the love which comes from all kinds of people in the world. And every trip has changed my consciousness to a certain extent, large and small. In my opinion, there's no such a way to go from childish to mature, because people have been always changing and growing up. Also, childish is not a bad thing. From my childhood to teenagehood, almost everyone around me was telling me, don't live in your own fantasy world. And then I came to realize that living my own world was not such an absolute and bad thing. On this trip, I definitely cut off some of the negative emotions that have been holding me back, while hugging and accepting positive emotions that I didn't want to face. It sounds strange, because when I was a child, I didn't like to go to school. In order to give me a better education, my parents sent me to boarding schools in other cities. I rarely had a chance to go home, and it was very stressful for me to be surrounded by all kinds of people and voices. I began to accept and embrace adversity, and then I slowly accepted the feelings of sadness and pain, which gradually became my close friends and even inspired me to create. But what I didn't want to face all the time is some positive energies, such as love, tenderness, and happiness. That's why I said this time I decided to accept this energy. Let's go on a trip. Does it really help? After this trip, I think travel as well as creating is all depends on you. For a long time, most of my creation comes from life, and my favorite thing to do during the non-creative period is to observe. Whether it is flowers, trees, animals, human beings, everything in nature, language expressions and body movements, or more abstract emotion, spirit, and much more. As long as I can feel, I will observe and think as much as possible. I have not received any professional training. I have always been my own world, sticking to my own path, observing, thinking, and feeling, whether it is movies, music, or words and paintings. Creation for me, they are my life, but also greater than me. I will continue on this road until I have no pieces left.